Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Basham Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great most, and never well. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Shalom and above all. Back at it with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Basham Shai. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Okay, and this is just a little testimony of something that happened last night. You know, when I was with a brother was dropping me back off by my house. And, you know, I'm not saying that I live in a completely safe area, you know, because technically nowhere's safe, nowhere is safe from the judgment of the Lord. But I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood, so to speak, you know, where things like this don't usually happen, even though, you know, my neighborhood does have, blood shed in the land, you know, so be some spiritual activity going on sometimes, man, you know, but nonetheless, through the spirit, you know, and really, if you live on Babylon soil, you know, all this place is defiled with bloodshed, okay, but nonetheless, through the spirit, last night, a brother was taking me back to my house, and on the way back, you know, like a little bit outside of the neighborhood, you know, the brother and I seen this, person. Like, I don't even know if it was a man or a woman, but if I had to choose between, I believe it was a woman, you know, because the individual looked like they had like a womanly figure, but they were wearing like a mascot suit, you know. And the thing about it was just like an eerie, creepy vibe, because, you know, it was like 1 a.m. You know, we just got done fellowshipping. You know, the brother taking me back to my house or to my tent, you know. And this person's wearing like the mascot suit. They got the mascot helmet on, or the head, for lack of better words, whatever the proper term may be. They had the suit on and they had the head for it, man. Just walking down the street, you know, heading towards my neighborhood. And as soon as the brother seen her, he was like, that's a demon, you know? We was like, oh, shit, we was looking. And the vibe was just really, like, eerie and creepy, man. You know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, there's no other way I could really explain it. You know, the vibe was hella eerie and hella creepy, okay? And, you know, I just wanted to touch on that because in my flesh, at first, my flesh was paranoid. And I was like, all right, you know, I'm thinking, you know how when the flesh gets to thinking, you like, okay, you know, this bitch might come pull up at my house. So, you know what I'm saying? The flesh start over worrying and having anxiety and stuff like that. But you got to learn to just channel that out, you know. You got to learn to tap into the spirit, you know, because at the end of the day, if that right there, that little circumstance, and nothing happened, you know, to Wadi Basham Shai, but if that circumstance had my flesh trembling, you know, how much more in these evil times that we're coming into, man. The scripture said a time of trouble the world has never seen before, man. So you got to understand, 2022 being a year of the turn up, you know, the spirits are getting more active, man. Okay, and I plan to do a lesson on this when the Lord puts the spirit on me to do it, but I've been meditating on this, man. You know, and that left hand energy truly is turning up, man, because we're starting to, you know, me personally, I'm starting to deal with demons that I've never dealt with before. I'm starting to go through different encounters with the left hand side that I never necessarily have encountered before. And it's not necessarily that I'm partaking in it, but it's more so like you see the resistance, man. Okay, and this is all part of the Lord's movie, man. All right. You know, it's like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's get it real quick. Ecclesiastes 3 and 16, it says, and moreover, I saw under the sun on the planet Earth the place of judgment. So judgment goes down over here on the planet Earth, man. It says that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. You see, so you have both good and evil here on the planet Earth, man. Like it says, Isaiah 45 and 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So Yahweh Shem Shai, he's in control of both the right hand side and the left hand side. Let's get another one. Sirach Ecclesiastes 33, starting at verse 14. It says, good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. Okay, so the Lord, he's perfectly balanced. So you got to understand, you know, even though my flesh was like, damn, okay, my flesh was kind of getting nervous, but in the spirit, it was like, man, Yahweh Shem Shai, he's in control, man. And you got to constantly remind yourself that, because, you know, this flesh is weak. The scripture says the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So it's easy to overthrow the flesh. Okay, but that's why we got to walk in the spirit, man. We can't walk in the flesh, because walking in the spirit requires faith. Walking in the spirit requires the fear of the Lord. Walking in the spirit requires godly confidence, boldness in the day of evil, man. You see? Because if I'm over here claiming, you know, yeah, I believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, this, that, and the third, and then some little trial like that happens, and all of a sudden my faith goes out the window, then guess what, man? You truly didn't believe, man. Okay, and the scriptures tell us not to be afraid of sudden fear. All right, let's get that real quick. Proverbs 3:25, it says, be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Okay, you see, that's the point. So Yahweh Shem Shai is our confidence, man. He's the reason why we stand sure. So don't be afraid of sudden fear. You can't let that anxiety demon try to get the best of you, man. All right, and I got a quick prayer for that, Lord willing. This is Proverbs 3:25. Yahweh, meaning he is, he exists, which is the Father, he to be. Ba-in, ha, the, sham, name. Yahweh Shai, being name only begotten Son, meaning he deliver, he saves. Babu Kwasha, which means please. Aisha, make. Awafia, me. Haya, be. La'ah, not or no. Yara'ah, afraid. Shal, of. Pathai, sudden. Pachad. Pachad is fear or dread. And wa, shawa'ah, desolation. Kaya, for. Ha, rashai, the wicked. Kaya, when. Bawa'ah, comes to pass, you know. The water, thanks, twab, amun, good, so be true. So a part of that sudden fear, a part of that evil coming to pass is the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, so guess what? You know, people whom the Lord has set up in the spirits created for vengeance, people who are just, you know, readily available vessels for Satan, taken captive at his will, as the scriptures say. You know, people like Skeletor, people like that person who was wearing the bunny suit in the Purge, you know, with the Purge, the most recent Purge that came out, and the person who had the bunny helmet on was trying to put them to death. The Lord is going to raise a lot more people up like that in the times of Jacob's trouble, man, to execute justice. Really, it is the justice of the Lord, because, you know, they're putting wicked people to death, but nonetheless, to execute judgment, man, for the evildoers, man. And that's a fearful thing when you really think about it. That's creepy, you know, if we're going to be real. But you got to understand, Yahweh Shem Shai, he's the author of creepiness, man. Okay? He's the author of you know, things that make the goosebumps on your skin stand up, man. He's the author of terror, man. He's known as the king of terrors, man. So anything that might be scary, all right, or anything that is scary, guess what? Yahweh Shem Shai created it, man. All right, and that's another reason why the Lord ought to be feared, man, because I know damn well, me personally, I don't want to get caught up by no damn Skeletor, you know, no Jason Voorhees or nothing like that, okay? But the Lord is going to be raising up spirits created for vengeance. He's going to be raising up a lot of people here in these last days who are created literally just to put people to death, man, okay? Isaiah 66:4, it says, I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. That's terrible, man. The Lord is saying he's going to bring someone's fears upon them, man. Imagine that, man. You not being right with the Lord, he brings your worst fear upon you because of your disobedience. It says, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. It says, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. You see, so the Lord saying, for those who delighted in the things which he delighted not in, and those who didn't answer when he called, guess what? He's going to bring their fears upon them, man. And that's why we ought to delight in the Lord. That's why we ought to fear the Lord. That's why we ought to do the things that he requires of us, man, because we don't want shit like that to happen to us. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I know I personally don't, man. All right? So, but guess what? You got to understand at the end of the day as well that, you know, even though these people can potentially harm you, you got to understand that Yahweh Shemel Shai is the reason why anything happens unto you, man. Point blank, period. And that's why you ought to fear the Lord more than the circumstance. So let's get into this. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17, starting at verse 3. This is going into what happened in Egypt. All right, when the Lord plagued them with the plague of darkness. It says, for while they supposed to lie and hid in their secret sins, they were scattered in a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions, man. All right, when you go into the word strange apparitions, it really means strange sightings. And when you think about it, you know, strange apparition is like when you see a demon manifest, or even when you see a righteous angel manifest, you know, and you see something happen strange, man. Okay, but low-key, what happened last night was in a way a strange apparition too, because it just means it means a strange sight, you know, and it was a strange apparition via someone in the flesh, via the left-hand side, man, of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Okay? So, us being on the right-hand side, we're that balancing force, so to speak. That's why it says a place under the sun, that righteousness was there and that evil was there, man. So, it's that balance through the spirit. You know, so if the Lord is turning up our spirit on the right-hand side, then them spirits on the left-hand side are turning up as well. All right? The left-hand side is not greater than the right-hand side, but you know, don't get it twisted. You can still get jacked up on that left-hand side too, man. You know, if you're living wickedly. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17 and verse 4. It says, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. So they were hallucinating. You know, the demons, the Lord gave the demons power to make them hallucinate and see strange apparitions, man. You know, like it says, they heard water falling down from about them. So that's a that's a hallucination right there. Because hallucination really means to be hearing things or to be seeing things, man. And recently too, I've been hearing things, man. I've been hearing strange noises that I've never heard before. Okay, and they're not always like eerie noises. You know what I'm saying? They're more so just like strange noises I never heard before. One time I heard like a twirling, whistling sound. If the best way I could explain it. You know, another time I've heard voices, and this is recently. This has happened to me like the past couple of weeks, maybe past 2 weeks, and it doesn't happen frequently, but it happens every now and then, and I'd be like, what the fuck, you know? But I'm the only witness technically, so I can't sit here and say that, you know, it's true, because I don't have a second witness besides Yahweh Shemel Shai being my witness. But I know one thing's for certain, I wouldn't get up on the lesson and lie about that, you know? There's so many other things to edify on. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, this all goes back to the scriptures, man. So them demons, they have power to do that, man. The demons have power to make you see things and hallucinate or hear things, man. Okay? You know, a lot of, man. And people are getting ready to see the terribleness and the fearfulness and the dread of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. People are getting ready to see why why the Lord ought to be feared, man. Okay? Why he's known as Al-Shaddai, man. Terrible, almighty power, man. Okay? Now it says, no power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten Salakia that horrible night. So that veil, that darkness was so dark that the fire couldn't even lighten it, man. Okay, you got to think about how dark the Lord plagued them with. It says, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. So that fire kindled of itself is a spirit. You see? Because the angels, they're known as ministering spirits. They're known as flames of fire. So the demons really are like fires kindled to themselves, man. You know, the demons are spirits. Okay, and we are spirits as well. So that's another reason why you don't fear them demons more than you fear the Lord. Because guess what? That demon is a spirit just like you. And that demon fears the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Here it is. You scared of the demon, but the demon is scared of the Lord. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick, man. And you know, when you really meditate on that, it's like, wow, that's comforting, man. Even though, like it says, horrible countenances, heavy countenance, you know, horrible appearance. So even though them demons look ugly and, you know, scary looking, guess what, man? They fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. So who's the one really ought to be feared? And guess what? The Most High created them, man. See, James 2:19, it says, thou believest that there is one power, thou do as well. The devils also believe and tremble. So they don't just believe, they also tremble at the presence of the Lord, man. And that's powerful right there, man. 2 Ezra 8 and in verse 22, it says, whose service is conversant in wind and fire, whose word is true, and sayings constant, meaning the Lord's words is forever, man. Ain't no, oh, that's Old Testament. Or, you know, yeah, but this changed, that, and the third. The Lord's word stands throughout all generations. Okay, the Lord doesn't need, you know, people say, oh, yeah, we're living in a different time. You know, the Lord's word doesn't need a software update like Esau's technology. The Lord's word is the update, man. Okay, now it says, whose commandment is strong and ordinance fearful. It says, Salakia, I was supposed to read verse 21. But hey, you know, part of them ordinances is judgment, man. Okay? And it says, 2 Ezra 8 and 21, it says, let me start at verse 20. 2 Ezra 8 and 20, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness, which beholdest from above the things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is inestimable. So you can't put a number on how big the Most High's throne is, because, you know, the Lord's throne is out of space. And even Esau backs it up. He says that there's no end to outer space. It just keeps on expanding. Okay, it says, that's why the scripture say, in my Father's house are many mansions. And it makes perfect sense, because when we in the kingdom and we're populating like crazy, you know, in righteousness, we're going to have millions of offspring. Okay, called like we're going to have millions of offspring. So we're going to need to go inhabit other planets and other solar systems and galaxies, because we're going to live forever, you know. Now it says, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling. Okay, so the host of angels stand with trembling. The angels are also known as the sons of God. And guess what? Satan himself is a son of God. Satan himself is an angel who stands before the Most High and his son with trembling, man. All right, this is Job chapter 1, starting at verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them. Going to show you what? That the Lord, he's the father of evil. He's the father of Satan. He's the father of righteousness as well. Okay, and the Lord's evil is technically righteous if you can receive it, you know. But the Most High is balanced, man. The Most High is balanced because he's omnipotent. He's all powerful. You had that quote in the Batman vs. Superman movie with Lex Luger. Okay. And the dude said, I figured out that, you know, if God is all powerful, then he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, he cannot be all powerful. Okay. Meaning that really, you know, it makes perfect sense what he said, because if you're truly all powerful, that means that you control both sides. You know, you control both sides of the chessboard. But if the Lord was only all good, then who's controlling the evil side? You see what I'm saying? So then that means that that's outside of his power. But the Lord controls that evil side, man. All right? So that's the point right there. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, Lord willing. Wisdom of Solomon 17 and verse 5, it says, no power of the... Verse 6, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Okay, right. So they're saying the strange apparitions that they seen were more scary than them being clouded in darkness, man, and the things that they couldn't see, you know. Now it says, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. And that's what's going to happen to these wicked doers in this society today, man. All right. It says, for they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. Right. So that's what you're going to see now. You're going to have people, you know, who think that, they could do anything for you on this side in the flesh. And guess what? They're going to see the evilness and the judgment and the terribleness of the Lord. And they're going to be afraid for themselves, man. But this was talking about ancient Egypt. Now it says how it says they were sick with fear, worthy to be laughed at, man. Like, you know how you scare somebody and it's funny? You laugh, you're like, ha, ha. Pretty much through the spirit of the Lord, like, look at these niggas. They scared, shaking in their boots, worthy to be laughed at, man. But see, this is that's exactly why you ought to fear the Lord, man. Because if you don't fear the Lord, you fear anything else, you're really a laughing stock, man. And of course, does that not mean that you can still be in dangerous situations from, people or humans or animals or, demons or whatever? Yeah, you could technically be in a dangerous situation, but you got to understand who's controlling that situation overall, man. All right. And Lord willing, we're going to get into that. Verse 9, it says, for though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. You see, so they heard pretty much, they were hallucinating. They heard sounds of wild beasts, man. That's what them demons can do. Them demons can mess with your mind. That's why the scripture say, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, man. And it says, for wickedness. And can you imagine being so scared that you die, man? Let's say, man, the Lord is terrible, man. The Lord is terrible. It says, for wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. For fear, here's the point, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth. Okay, so pretty much fear, simply put, is you betraying or you giving up the acknowledgement that Yahweh Shem Shai is the one bringing that fear, man. Okay? Because when you understand that the Lord is in control of everything, that takes away a great deal of fear from you. Now, your flesh might still be anxious, but that's just your flesh. Okay? And you got to learn to differentiate and separate the two, because the spirit hit me the other day and it really made sense. Sometimes my flesh will feel anxiety and I don't even know why. But then the spirit hit me and I was like, man, that's just my flesh feeling anxious. Because your flesh has a spirit of its own, so to speak, man. Okay? Your flesh has a spirit of its own, and you see it all the time in the movies, on the little cartoons where the head gets chopped off, but the body gets back up and keeps moving. In a spiritual sense, that's how it is. Your flesh has its own spirit in a way. That's why the Apostle Paul said it's a war between the law of his members and in the law of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. That's why he said, who shall deliver me from this body of death, man? That which he does is that which he doesn't want to do, and that which he doesn't do is that which he wants to do, man. So it's a battle. It's a constant battle between the spirit and the flesh. So you got to understand that, yeah, your flesh might feel anxious, but in your spirit, you're well rested, and you know that Yahweh Shem Shai got me, man. I don't have a reason to be afraid. I don't have a reason to be anxious. Even if your flesh might still have that anxiety feeling, you just got to know in your spirit that Yahweh Shem Shai is in control. Kind of like when, a demon might hop on you to make you think something that's wicked, or make you, or try to tempt you or lust you with something that's wicked. But when you get presented with that, your flesh might cleave onto it, but in your spirit, you're like, nah, that ain't the way to go. You see what I'm saying? So when you apply that same concept to anxiety and over worrying and things like that, man, it's the same thing pretty much, man. So fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth, man. Okay? It says, in the expectation from within, being less, counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. Right? So pretty much your inward thoughts, you overthinking, you're counting that more than Yahweh Shem Shai, who is the cause of the torment being brung. Okay? That's the point right there, man. Verse 14, but they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable. Yeah, they were so scared they couldn't even go to sleep, man. And these are the times that we're coming into. The times of Jacob's trouble is going to be evil time. People are going to be so on edge that it's going to be hard for them to sleep. And that's really a thing. When your body has so much adrenaline and anxiety going through, it's hard for your body to go to sleep, man. It's hard for your body to want to eat. You just alert. You know what I'm saying? But you're fearing for your life. Okay? You know, hey, fear can be healthy, man. Fear can be healthy if it's channeled towards the Most High. You know, now it says, but they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell. All right, meaning the lowest state, not necessarily meaning, you know, there's a place where people burn for everlasting and eternity. You know, it's talking, and when you do read the scriptures that do say that, it's talking about the missile fire, the lake of fire, the ICBM nuclear missiles. People, you know, people are going to be burning those missiles, man. And those missiles, the fire, that missiles going to be going on for a long, long time. Okay. Now it says, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. Like we read earlier through the Spirit. Be not afraid of sudden fear. So sometimes certain things might pop up on you. Certain things might be sudden and they might be fearful. But be not afraid of sudden fear, man. Fear Yahweh B'Shem Shai. It says, so that's the point. Let's keep reading. It says, so then whosoever there fell down and was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron or bars. Meaning what? That they were just sitting there idle. They didn't want to move because they were so afraid. So it says they were shut up in a prison without iron or bars, man. Meaning that they were just so scared they didn't move. It was like they were locked up in a prison. It says, for whether he were husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness. That's right. So everywhere you was at in Egypt, if you weren't in that land of Goshen, you got caught up in that plague of darkness, man. Same thing now these times. If you're not of the elect, you're gonna get caught up in that darkness, man. You're gonna get caught up in the plagues and in the judgments of the Lord. Now it says, whether it were a whistling wind, ooh, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. It's talking about that. I was saying about how that twirling whistle sound, you know, earlier in the lesson. Well, that's another way that them demons can try you, man. Make you hear things. It says, whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches. Yeah, them demons can make you hear animals. It says, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down. And that's the spirit, because I'm going to keep reading first, actually. It says, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear. Okay, right. So that's just showing you that the demons do have the power to make you hallucinate, make you hear things, and make you see things, man. And it's funny because, you know, last night, going back to that testimony, after I seen that demon walking by in that mascot suit, you know, I was in my living room area, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, what if this motherfucker just come knocking on the back door type shit? And I was thinking to myself, like, you know, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna believe in the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna believe in the Lord. You know, try to fight my flesh. And shortly after, man, I'm hearing like knocking sounds coming from like the left of me. But my back door was like in front of me where I was facing. So the knocking sounds was like coming to the left, like it was knocking at the side of the house. And I was just like, I just had to laugh within myself. I was like, man, them demons, they messing with me right now, man. So I'm saying this to say this, you know, don't be surprised if you do find yourself in some weird, strange situations, and you might even be hallucinating. You might be hearing things. You might hear a demon call your name, but you know that you're home alone. You know what I'm saying? You might be in a deserted area and you hear a little child's voice laughing or some shit like that. I know it might sound creepy, but you know, if you're in this truth, you sincerely believe in Yahweh B'Shem Shai, don't be afraid of those things, man. And I know it's easier said than done, because your flesh is gonna do the walking. But you gotta, you know, take the bull by the horn, so to speak. All right, and take control and take initiative in the spirit, and let Yahweh B'Shem Shai do the walking, man, and the talking. Okay, because the Lord, He's the one who we are to fear, man. You know, Romans 8:35, who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. So you got to be in that spirit of being a conqueror through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, man. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Mashiach Yahushua our Lord. So, you can't let them demons separate you from the love of Yahweh Shai, man. And if you love the Lord, you're going to have faith in him. You're going to believe in the things that he says, okay? And you're going to apply his word. And a part of applying his word is knowing to not fear, man. Not being afraid of anything other than the Lord. That's why Yahushua said, fear not them which can kill the body, but fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body, man. So let's say hypothetically, even if the Lord did allow that Skeletor individual or that person who was wearing that mascot suit to run up on you, you got to not fear them. You got to fear the Lord more, because they could, they could kill you. They could put you to death. But the Lord, he could torment your spirit, man. The Lord could make you hear and see things that's not even there. The Lord can make you be afraid and bugged out of your mind, worthy to be laughed at. God. But Isaiah 33 and 5, 35 and 3, it says, strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. That's what we got to do in the spirit, man. Strengthen ourselves in Yahweh Shai. We got to cut out that weak shit. As the scripture says in 2nd Ezra, put off now the weak nature. All right. And a part of that weak nature is being so fearful, man. The Lord isn't dealing with an individual who's fearful and lacks faith, man. 2nd Ezra 14 and 14, it says, let go from the mortal thoughts. All right. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Yeah. So guess what? We're coming into some very evil times. The bad stuff we thought we seen now, guess what, man? We're going to see way worse. Okay. So we got to put off that weak nature, man. Like sure say, be strong, quit you like men, gird up your loins. All right. Because we're coming into some fearful times, and a man is known for being bold and courageous against, danger and things that might cause fear or harm. And guess what? We're not just regular men. We're men of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, and the Lord, he doesn't play about